Welcome to the weekly roundup on SA Footballer TV with
Sean the Diff Jacobson
and Tommy Javor. We are covering round... What round would that have been, Diff?
We'll be on round 12.
Right, we're covering the review of round 11 and the preview of round 12. Beautifully done. Interesting set of results this week, as always. The one that was hardest to tip proved that way in result as well. It was St. Peter's 12-12-84, Gazer, an accurate Gazer 12-4-76. They've underachieved for mine this year, Gazer.
Yeah, well, that's put them even further back from the 5 now, so it's going to make it tough from here on out. And yeah, the Spockos aren't doing too bad this year.
Yeah, it actually, yes, it certainly does. It Broadview had a commanding victory on the weekend. Top 5 could be set in this division. We'll cover the ladder a bit later on, though. For St. Peter's, Sharp and Copping both kicked 3, and Stafford kicked 2. Roberts, Lockwood and Sharp were their better players.
And for Gazer, we had Heinz with 4 and Smith with 2, and best players were Stevens, Heinz and McCready.
Yes, 2 stalwarts of Gazer there, Adrian Stevens and Brett Heinze. We're not getting enough support from a few of their mates, and Jars will be pulling his... Oh, he's got no hair.
I'd be rubbing his belly.
He'd be making outlandish comments on radio. Okay, our next one was Modbury 18-13-121, Foss Camden 10-5-65. Modbury are the standouts of this division, and they proved that again. 31 scoring shots to 15, 10-goal win.
Smash. I thought Foss were going to do better after coming down from 1s to 2s, but mid-road...
No, they went up from 3s to 2s.
Okay, I've got my teams mixed up here. Alright, no, that's alright. So yeah, Modbury too good, wholly good at that now. I've just embarrassed myself with this one.
Ben Bale kicked 5, Roddy Rankin Jr. kicked 3, as did Gibbo. Bennett kicked 2, so did Fogden. Burns, Hoffmeyer and Rankin Jr. were the better players for Modbury.
And for Fossies, we had Jack Wheel with 5 and a few singles, and their best players were Cross, Ruwalt and Ramsey.
Yep. So Foss, again, they probably just haven't quite reached the lofty heights of last year where they were dominant to get back in this division, but they have a crack. Our next one, mate, well, who would have seen this coming?
The Portland boys would have.
Yeah.
Been talking their chances up every week.
Actually, I've written Gazer off their percentage outside the 5, a bit harsh. Portland, they started strong and increased their lead at every single change, did they? Yes, they did. To win out strong wins with some great kicking. 20 goals, 6-1-26, Broadview 9-10-64, pardon me. And again, we talked about it before, Portland play their over well, and they're very good at shots. They know where to be having your shots from. And
yeah, and made it even better that the win that their number 1 forward, Bowser Pryor, went down in the first 5 minutes of the game too.
Yep, so, and they've still got the chocolates quite comfortably. Good 6-goal-1 last quarter there. For Portland, it was Malera with 4 and a host of people with 2s. In the form of Bradley, Chrisman, Waring, Matthews, Witra, Gine, and several singles. Best player was Dale Lazlet, Oates and Perkins.
And for Broadview, we had Kemp with 4 and Ryan with 2, and their best players were Tomasi, The Prince and Elfenbein.
Elfenbein? How you Elfenbein? So I do it every week, it doesn't get unfunny. Frank! So the beans out of Frank. Anyway, we get a bit sidetracked here. Smosh Westlakes, they've had a hideous season, and it didn't improve this week.
Yeah, they just wanted to finish.
Yeah, I think so. Look, they had a crack, and you've got to give them that. But, yeah, they were down by 5 goals early, and so you're not going to...
The Scots wanted that win.
Yeah, they needed it. It was Scotch 17-8-110, Smosh Westlakes 9-3-57. Look, probably some credit. In the last quarter, they kicked 4 goals to none. Held Scotch. Yeah, you can try and find positives.
Yeah.
Scotch Marsden kicked 7, Bilby kicked 6. That's Twin Towers up there kicking 13 between them.
Yeah.
Thorpe kicked a couple and was the judge best. Marsden and Bilby second and third best.
Yeah, and for Smosh, we had Hughes, Payne, and Nathan Brown with 2 each, and best players were Sivic, Perham and Atkins.
Yes, not a lot you can say. Really,
not really. It's just been a horror year for Smosh, and they'll be hoping to be a lot better in Divi 3 next year, I'd say.
And that's where they'll find themselves. June 30 deadline's gone. There's no magic solution coming. So look, this is the game here was between Sacred Heart and Old Iggy's. I thought it would be close. Yeah. It wasn't. I thought it would be very close. It was Sacred Heart too good. 15-12-102. Old Ignatians 6-5-41. Lockie Button continued his tremendous season with 5 goals, and Noel was down the other multiple with 3. Best players were Parr, Button and Noel.
And for Old Iggy's, we had McNeil and Abbott with 2 each, and their best players were Abbott, Shaw and McNeil.
Yeah, so Good result there for Sacred Heart, bouncing back from a loss the week before, a narrow loss, and
Turned out not to be match of the round.
no, not at all. Goal kicking, it's quite tight here. There's 10 goals between first and fifth. Bilby is leading on 38, Button is on 32. We'll probably spend a bit more time in the ruck, I would think, as the season goes on, and then we'll see. Freddie Pry from Portland on 30, as you said, went down injured, couldn't
might
add to
stay
his
on
tally.
30 for a few weeks.
Do you know what he did?
Not sure, but they
Hamstring, the producer says.
so he'll be gone for a while, you think.
We called it before the season. We actually said, courtesy of the producers' insight, Mobby wouldn't lose a game. They have lost one, but they're 10-1, sitting 2 games clear on
And
top.
a massive percentage. You would think top spots there is to lose now. Couldn't see you losing it really.
Yep. So Sacred Heart are second on 8 and 3. St. Peter's 7 and 4. Old Iggy 6 and 5, and then it gets very interesting. 3 teams on 5 and 6. In Broadview, Scotch and Gazer, and none of them really jumping up to grab that opportunity.
And the ones that are behind them are only just behind them as well. With
Foss and Portland, and could we see the miracle come out of the Port as they gain some late season momentum? You never know. Plenty of time.
They'll tell you that they'll make the 5 and they'll do damage, they reckon. But
One thing's
we'll
for
wait and
sure, their B grade won't make the 5.
Oh, no way.
And on to now this week's games, mate, because they are absolutely crucial in the makeup. Of course, we're a little bit behind some of the other divisions, so they start a bit later.
Yep.
It is round 12. Let's have a look at it, mate. Foss Camden and Smosh West Lakes. They're neighbours, not far from each other.
Yeah. Fossey's easy,
Yeah,
just because it's Smosh.
yeah. Okay. Look, maybe you'd think Smosh will find a way to win a game this year, and this could be it, but.
No, you'd hope it's sorry, it'd only be at their home deck. I reckon. I can't see you winning away from home.
Yeah, that's right. Old Iggy's and St. Peter's, these two college teams are, it's tight at the moment.
Fourth, yep.
Yep, third and fourth. A game and a very narrow percentage separates them. Old Iggy's very disappointing last week, weren't they?
Yes, they were. They got smashed by.
Sacred Heart.
Yep, that was the one. You'd expect them to bounce back, but Spocko's had a good win, and I reckon they might get the Chockies here as well.
Oh, we've agreed all night. I'm not going to agree on this one. I think Old Iggy's will be the team to bounce back and get the chocolates. Gazer and Modbury. These two have had some great games over the years. It's at Clemsick Oval. Must win for Gazer.
Yeah, it is, but they're coming us against the powerhouse in Modbury. You reckon they're a chance? I don't think they're going to be too much of a sniff, Old Gazer, but...
Modbury by 8 goals.
Alright, there we go.
Scotch and Broadview are two of those teams competing for a top 5 berth, sitting between 5th and 7th. It's at Scotch College, the white picket fence.
I reckon Scotch in this, I reckon the big forwards from Scotch who dominated on the weekend will dominate again, and they'll get the win just over Broadview, I reckon.
Yes, perhaps they've found new avenues to goal since the departure of the Cales. Broadview very disappointing last week at Port Reserve, but many teams have been disappointing at Port Reserve over the years.
Yeah.
I think Scotch winning form is good form. They're at home, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
And a real danger game for Sacred Heart. They head to Port Reserve where it could be the kicking accuracy. I don't know. I've just got a funny feeling about this one.
The Portland boys would say they'd win this, and they'd win it comfortably too, they would, but couldn't see them beating Sacred Heart, could you?
I think this week we find out just how good Portland are. I'm going to go Sacred Heart just, but this is my
it is tough
my
to play
dark
out
horse
there,
for the
but
upset.
it is tough to play out there, but I think Sacred Heart, like I said, maybe just probably 3 or 4 goals for me.
Yeah, even closer for me. This has been the Dip 2 Weekly Roundup. We'll be back next week.
So, yeah.